Hey everyone, if you are still with us, oh my God, thank you for being here. It's been a hot minute, right?
It's been a while. That's on us.
Well, I am Fossil and I am here with EmL.A, aka Spawn.
My God. Hi, guys.
And we are in the fall now. It was summer when we last talked to you. Now,
Stop. I forgot. It was. It was, though.
that's on us. Life happened. So sorry. But if you're still here, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Actually, though, the weather here, because this is my first time experiencing no seasons uh, in Los Angeles. And so, but oddly enough, it's been cold. Like, it's gotten down to 54 here, which I didn't even think was possible for LA.
Fahrenheit.
Yes, Fahrenheit.
I said that
Where
because we have somebody from England and somebody from India that listened.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. But yes,
I believe in Celsius, that would be like 14 degrees Celsius.
yeah. So 54 degrees Fahrenheit. And yeah, no, the mornings are cold. I need a little Jackie.
So you guys don't have falling leaves and beautiful colors?
No, not yet. I doubt that will happen. There's like one tree that we have planted that we have man-made planted on this campus. Okay, that has a couple leaves turned over.
Do y'all circle around it, hold hands, and sing Kumbaya?
Well, it's on our fucking roof. So let me just preface with that. It's on our little hangout spot.
Spawn in her roof tree.
Yeah. The terrace, if you will.
The terrace. It sounded like you said terrorist.
No, 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 no. The terrace.
The terrace. The terrace tree. Well, I have one up on you.
Hmm.
We had a bear.
A bear. Well, that's like common for Connecticut.
I'm sorry. You can say that if you want to, but here's what happened. Let me give you the
Okay.
story.
The
I was out in the
story.
garage. Yeah, I was cleaning up the mess in the garage. There's branches that we had from the summer that I just piled in there because they didn't fit in the trash can, yada, yada. So the dogs are outside on their leads, and one of our dogs, Pebbles, she's energetic. She's a little smaller Italian Greyhound dog. And mixed with Chihuahua, I think. She's a
Hmm.
mix of some sort. And she loves to bark. She loves to bark. So most of the time, I totally block it out. But she was barking. And what really took my attention was my older little love bud, little Moomy, who's like 14 now.
Hmm.
She started barking. Now she's blind and deaf.
Stop. You be nice.
Now Moomy joined in, and I stroll out there because I'm sweating. I'm moving big huge branches, and I'm like, "What are you two?" And I'm looking right at the face of a bear who can't be more than 20 feet from me. Now, in this moment, I recognize I have one dog at the end of her lead, pulling it taut, bark, 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 which this bear is looking at us. I
Hmm.
have a second to make a decision. I scooped Moomy up so hard her collar fell off. In my arms, I've got her, and I'm starting to shake because I know if Barry starts to run at us, we're done. So I try to grab Pebble's lead, and I'm dragging her backwards, praying that her harness takes because she was chewing on it the other day. So it was a little bit bent. And if
Hmm.
that had slipped off her body, if the plastic had broke, she would
Hmm.
have been bear jerky.
Yeah.
So with Moomy in my arm, trying to pull Pebbles back into the garage, we got inside, but I'm telling you, it took me an hour to come down from that.
Yeah, I bet.
I watched Barry out the window. Now his ear was tagged, so obviously we know about him. The community knows about him because he did have an ear tag. But he just looked at it. He stood there and stared at us. And then once I got inside and watched him, he went over to a neighbor's fence and just started eating leaves over there. Now he was very calm, but that was too close, way too close. Because if that bear had wanted to run, we would have been done. There's nothing we could have done. He would have won that battle. That was scary. I'm sorry, it was.
No, I mean we have a lot of bear encounters like that though. Not necessarily to the point where you had to drag our dogs, but
No, usually they're through a window. We see them coming through the yard through the window. I've never seen a bear come into the yard with an animal barking like that. You think the
oh,
bear would have avoided our yard.
yeah, scary bear,
Yeah.
fearless bear. It's almost Halloween, which if you guys know me, you know that it's kind of my favorite holiday, which I think says a lot about me as a person, and it's also very problematic. But I love the idea of Halloween, just like dressing up and having fun. And I mean, I know that's not like the idea of Halloween. I understand it's like more, more about spirits and like acknowledging people who have passed on. But
And the harvest. There's a lot of things it means. It depends on what you celebrate.
right, but I'm saying what it's turned into commercially. I enjoy the festivities, the dressing up, going out, you know. Um, but I've never had in the past couple of years, I've never had like an amazing Halloween. And I don't know if that's because of expectations or if where I was just sucked in college or what it was, but plans always fell through and my Halloweens have always been bad. So I am determined to have fun this year. I think I will, but guys, I'm like the worst at costumes just because I don't like to spend money. And I'm also not very crafty when it comes to a little um, DIY project. So I'm a little nervous about that, but yeah, I'm so ready for spooky season.
As an adult, all I hear is cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Little shit's coming to the door going, give us candy.
Okay,
No.
this is how that's not true because literally Fossil will either fill a bowl and put it out, which
Yeah.
fair,
Because the
or
dogs bark.
she will lock the door and turn off the light.
It depends. If it's raining, there's no point. We know no kids are coming.
Yeah.
But I'd rather put out a bowl and just let them because every time the dogs are going to bark, they don't know how to behave with we don't have people coming to our door. And I'm not going to keep opening that door.
Is that frowned upon this year because of COVID?
Since I don't have little littles anymore, I don't know what the rules are.
Protocol this year because last year it was obviously no.
Right.
But this year we're kind of in this weird in between where it's like it's over, it's not over. People are pretending it's over, me included a little bit. We're all going back to kind of normal, the new sense of normalcy. But what that mean for Halloween?
I don't know. What I don't like about Halloween is the whole spooky business.
Why?
Because what's so spooky about it? Because it's nighttime. Why does it have to be scary? There's enough scary things. Taxes. I mean, Jesus, come on. You want to talk about scary things? We don't need more scary. We need fun. Fun. I get. I get having a party.
I don't know. I love a good haunted house. I love a good horror movie with your friends. You know? All right. Just me. Just me.
I'm sure for you that's true, but for me, I've had enough of that in my life. I've been scared enough for real that I don't need to be artificially stimulated with spookies and scaries.
What a wording choice.
Facts. I think we should share an actual experience we've had because I really do have an issue with the idea of ghosts being scary. It irritates me, and it irritates me because I've had a real experience.
Mm-hmm. I can see where she's going with this, and for anyone listening out there, I am already severely uncomfortable.
Well, let's put it this way. When Emily was about Emily, I'm going to talk about you. When
Yeah.
you were
EmL.A.
I'm going to say 6 or 7. You were between 6 and 7, somewhere in there. You woke up screaming one night,
Okay.
terrified, yelling, "Make her stop, make her stop, make her stop." Now, at this point in my life, I just assumed you had a bad dream.
Yeah.
And I went into your room and I'm like, what's wrong, baby girl? And you said, make her stop. She's standing right there. She's crying. I said, honey, I don't see anybody standing there. You're like, she's right there. And you're make her stop. You said she was crying. So
Mm-hmm.
this happened a few times. It wasn't like it just happened once. And I started to worry
Wait, I
as,
woke up and screamed multiple times.
yes, yes,
Ew.
you did.
That's so ugly.
And
Old me.
so then it progressed to, I was watching you because there's psychologically there's a lot of
Right.
people would say kids have fears, etc. I was watching you. You were a happy kid. But I was be sitting with you and all of a sudden you'd get this look on your face. You would like go from happy playing with whatever you were doing to this look of absolute fear. And your eyes were locked on something. And I said, what do you see? And you just started crying. And eventually you told me that there was this like smoky, shadowy, fishy figure, like
Yeah.
a dark, shadowy, fishy figure that was
I love how
floating around you.
this just sounds like undiagnosed like schizophrenia.
Believe me, sweetie, I was watching and paying attention.
Oh my God, no, but yeah, so there was a while where it normally happened when I was alone, but it did happen around the family a couple times where there was just like it started out as like a black spot, I guess, kind of, and it had the shape of a fish, and I would just like see it, and the most common thing would be, oh, she's dehydrated.
Yeah,
Um,
we went through the gamut.
yeah, we really did
I was
everything
looking things
medically.
up. Yeah, I was looking things up. So at some point, I know that I didn't want to create a problem. So I kept you talking and I said, what do you see? And
Mm,
next time you see it, I want you to ask it what it wants. Now, that was a bold move as a mom part, I want to say, because it was saying that there was something there. I was allowing you to tell me what it was morphing into.
mm,
And you said to me, it's a little girl.
mm-hmm.
And you asked it. You got that look on your face. We're sitting in the family room watching television or something. And you said, it's right there. You got that look on your face and you said, it's right
I
there.
can
And
pronouns right, bitch.
and then you asked it. You said it very quietly. You said, what do you want? And then your face changed and you said, it's a little girl. And so anyway, I said, ask her name. And you gave me the name. Now I'm only going to reveal the first name because there was an actual family in my research that this
Yeah,
actually correlated
yeah,
with.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's
I
not,
am not going there. You
but
said her name is Olivia so-and-so.
yeah.
And I said, ask her why she's here. And you said she's looking for her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently this child, I believe you told me she was in a car accident. I believe that's what you told me at that time. But anyway.
That, but she just died young. I forget.
Yeah. And yeah. So anyway, I did some research and there was a family in this neighborhood that had that same last name as far
Our
as
neighborhood.
in our town, not
In
our
our
neighborhood, in our town.
okay.
And apparently the grandparents lived in our couple streets away.
Mm.
So, okay, that's not the important part. The important part for me, because I was willing to accept all of this as, emotional, just going through some feelings or processing fear
Right.
or whatever, until a few things happened.
Mm-hmm.
About this time, I was painting in the house, and I had a stand-up lamp, a floor lamp, that kept coming on as I was painting. It would come on. Now this, I'm sorry, I was like, that's freaking weird. Now if it shut off, then like whatever, lights shut off all the time, bulbs go out, whatever. But this light kept coming on, so I had to unplug it.
Mm-hmm.
We had a dog at the time named Toby who would sit at the bottom of the stairs and just start barking. Now, it was about this time that you would start coming home and I would hear you in your room talking. And I was hearing you talking, playing with this little girl. You would be, Olivia, what, do you like that? Oh, you know what I did today? You were talking to this other entity.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm like, imaginary friends, it's all okay.
Yeah.
Well, there happened to be a weekend where Daddy was home and he was in his recliner as per usual watching sports.
Mm-hmm.
Our doorbell rang and it was not the tone, because our doorbell had like 12 settings. It was not the setting it was supposed to be on. Whatever it was not the same tone. He looked at me, I looked at him, and he goes, I'll get it. He goes, that was so weird. We went to the door, there was nobody there. Now that happened one other time when Daddy wasn't home, that it rang a different tone. Now, if we pushed that button, it was the right tone. But that sound that went off was not. And Daddy, even before he died, was like, I don't know what that was, but I don't even want to think about it.
Right. And no. It like the song was like weird too.
Yeah, we had it set for something Daddy liked, but it kept playing. Those two times it played a different tune. It was like somebody was trying to get our attention, looking backwards. Take this for what it's worth. I don't know. I'm sure there's an electrician that could explain this, whatever. Here's the clincher for me. The clincher was, I went to work, was alone again, like you said, shit always happens when you're alone.
Yeah, I know.
I was alone in the office. Now, this was odd because I was hardly ever alone in the office. There was a little file room, which had the filing cabinets. It had the fax machine, and it had a small little closet. In this closet had like 4 or 5 shelves. There was boxes of stationery. Behind the boxes of stationery was a small little radio that was attached to the phone line, because old school, that's when you put somebody on hold in business, you hear the music. That's how it was set up in our office. So there was this little tiny boom box that was hooked up for the phone system. Mm-hmm. I was in there doing a fax, and the door was open to this little closet. There was a crash next to me that startled me, and it was that boom box, that little radio, was on the floor. Not the boxes that were in front of it, just the radio. I kept staring at it, looking at the boxes, going, how did this come up and over those boxes to land on the floor and scare the bejesus out of me? So I didn't think much about it, went along my day, put the box back, rehooked it, took the fax, continued work. When I got home that day, you said to me, I don't know if you remember this. This is where I lost my shit. You look at me and you said, Olivia went to work with you today.
I hate that.
And I just froze. It gave me goosebumps all over my body. But I said to you, why, baby? Why did she come with me? And you said, you make her feel safe. Oh. And yeah. I started crying, I think, at that point. So when no one was in the house, being, this is how I dealt with it. I can't tell you if we're all crazy. I can't tell you this act. I have no proof. I stood in the middle of our house one day and I said, Olivia, sweetheart, if you're here, I don't know how to help you. But if I can't see you or hear you and you're using EmL.A as your speaker, I'm just going to ask you to walk towards the light. If you see light, walk towards the light. I'm sure your dad's on the other side. And it wasn't long after that you said to me, you came home from school and said, where's Olivia? Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know, sweetie. Where's Olivia? And she never came back. We have not seen her since. Now, be that for what it is, that's the experience I had.
Keep in mind also, guys, like I am perfect. I hate telling this story. Like I genuinely do, because it makes me feel like I'm kind of insane. So, if you disagree with it or if you don't believe it, that's whatever. That's unfortunately what my experience was with it. But I mean, it was a fine experience. There was nothing bad came of it. But also keep in mind that my mom did not tell me any of the things that were happening to her.
I told you nothing because I was worried.
Like, I don't know, like, because I was young. So she wasn't going to sit there and be like, Olivia came to work with me today, and like and the radio fell off the thing. Like she didn't tell me any of that until like 2 or 3 years maybe later, right?
I
It was like,
I was watching you because I was very well aware that children can have process things that happen to them, and when you're at school, if something happens and you're upset about it, it can come out in different ways. But this went on for, I want to say, a year or two.
yeah.
This stuff happened over the process of a good long time, and I I believed you.
What's funny about it too is that was like pre-trauma. You know what I mean? Like not
Yeah,
to,
no, no, no. That was everything was great.
not to be weird, but dad was still here. Like I
Right.
had a very happy childhood. This was before I got bullied at school. Like, you know what I mean? There was not really anything for me to necessarily conjure up to, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
don't know why I would have done that if it was like a trauma response, because there was no trauma at that point.
Yeah, you were a happy kid.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
when this started happening, it would happen right in front of me. I would watch your face change.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to believe it. And I fought it too. And I'm telling you, I have changed my opinion on what happens to us after we die. And the idea of ghosts now kind of makes me angry because they're loved ones that are just not here. Their soul has to go somewhere. That's what I believe. Maybe everybody's entitled to their opinion, but if we believe in spirituality and we believe our soul has to go somewhere, why are we thinking of them as spooky?
Hmm. I mean, I was spooked.
If you don't understand something that's happening because you've been told it shouldn't, if it was accepted in our society, to talk to your ancestors. The Native Americans speak to their ancestors, do they not? And yet that's not a spooky thing. So why are we looking down on, we call them ghosts and get, ooh, Halloween and yeah, anyway. But you were a special kid anyway. I think you had
That's
other
awful.
well, no, you had other incidences that weren't about spirits. They were about visions. You had some dreams that, am I outing you? Should I not be talking about
No,
this?
I feel like I just worry. It's awkward for me. It's awkward for me because I think, okay, let's get into it. When I was younger, I used to have very vivid dreams. Okay. And still to this day, I think I pretty much only lucid dream.
Yeah.
I'm always aware that it's a dream. There are very few times where I'm not aware it's a dream. And when I'm not aware it's a dream, I wake up like freaking out because I'm not used to them. So, anyways, when I was younger, specifically, I used to have like stupid lucid dreams, kind of, but they were always very vivid and just about like normal mundane things. But then like a week later, maybe a couple days later, maybe even a month later, that exact thing that I had a dream about would happen word for word, sight for sight, like everything would happen exactly how I dreamt it. And this happened like over 100 times.
You should be logging this.
Well, but the thing is, because it's not necessarily like a useful skill, because it wasn't like a that's so Raven moment. I
Well, yeah,
wasn't
you can't control it. It's
I
not
wasn't seeing
controllable.
things that were like crazy or like horrible incidences that I could like fix or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's not a superpower.
It was like me returning a library book to the elementary school library. You know what I mean? It was like stupid things that I was seeing like through my eyes as if they were happening currently, but then they actually did happen like a week later. And then you could argue like, oh, well, maybe you just like put yourself into those situations, like made them happen because you had them happen in your subconscious. But it would be things like my teacher said or did something.
Well, me too. we were sitting in the living room one time, and you got that look on your face, and this wasn't but over the right before you left for LA, and you're like, oh my god, mom, this happened, this music was on, and we were sitting here having this conversation.
Oh
you've
yeah,
done
that's
that
weird.
you've done that to me. We were sitting in the living room.
Well, so now that I'm older, I think a lot of this, what happened with the whole Olivia thing, really made me nervous because, I didn't, if you believe in this kind of stuff, like I didn't want to be that like weird person who like has all these things. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want that.
You
And it's
you don't want to
scary.
be you don't want to be a channel.
It's scary. It's uncomfortable. And so now they happen very few and far between. So when they do happen, I'm like, oh, wow, but they probably happen like 3 times a year as opposed to like before they were happening 2, 3 times a week or whatever.
I think everybody has the skill and the ability, but they just don't use it because as adults we're told that this stuff, if you're told all the time that it's doesn't exist and it doesn't happen, you're going to grow up thinking that what you're experiencing is not real,
Yeah.
which is, I think, unfortunate because I think a lot of good intuition can come from it too.
It was a time. It happened.
Does anybody else out there have any stories? Come on, guys, step forward. I know somebody out there has a story.
I confided in one of my close friends one time this story, which is funny because now I'm sharing it on here. But I told her the story, and she looked at me and she goes, "I have a friend who had something very similar happen to her." And I was like, "Really?" And she was like, "Yeah." She was like halfway across the fucking world, not really, but kind of. And she was like, "Yeah, she's like really into this kind of stuff. Like she had a very similar experience to you, but she, I think, actually took it and ran with it, whereas I ran away from it."
Right.
So,
And that's okay.
so that's that. Hope you enjoyed that little tidbit, that little story,
Our Halloween pod.
our little Halloween pod.
And now that it's going to be Halloween, once that's over, you know the holidays are here. So, oh, I want to plug someone for the holidays. Hey, if you guys know of anybody who loves artwork and anybody who loves stationery, here's the thing. A wonderful lady, her name is Elizabeth Peterson. She's an artist and she could really use the backup. Go check her out on Instagram. She goes by ebony_artworks with a Z. So ebony_artworks, Elizabeth Peterson. She's right now selling pre-printed greeting cards. So if you can, please support her. She
Yeah.
could use all the help she can get, and her art is amazing. It really is. I bought two paintings from her.
Oh my gosh. I will say I'm not like a huge fan of endorsements every episode, but this artist is very talented. We have a couple
She
of her paintings
really
in
is.
our house. They're absolutely stunning, beautiful. They make my mom's room very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. But also, I will say, if you can't afford to buy her art or whatever, just even a follow on Instagram or liking her pictures will go a long way. So,
On Insta, she is at ebony_artworks with a Z. So that's EBONY_ARTWORKZ. And look her up. She's amazing.
if you guys have any ideas of little quick costumes that I can throw together where I still look fucking amazing, please let me know. God, please let me know. I'm struggling.
You want to hear a funny story to end this pod?
Okay.
So I'm taking this funny little woo-woo class, and in it, the instructor told us how to make a wonderful body scrub for the shower. You can also use it as a soak. Either you can either make a soak or you can make a body scrub. So me being me, I decided I love showers better, so I made the body scrub. So it basically consisted of Himalayan salt crystals and some essential oils and like jojoba oil. Is it jojoba? Yoyoba? I don't know. However you say it. In doing so, I did not realize that the salt crystals would not dissolve as they do in food. So when I used the body scrub, I kind of scratched myself all up.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I just thought I'd share the stupid. Next time I'm going to try Epsom salt.
You didn't even share what actually happened. You just like half-assed that story. She literally has this body scrub and she's scrubbing it on her. It feels like glass.
It
She's
feels like
touching her
glass.
body with this body scrub that's supposed to help her, and she's
Oh
just
my God.
going down on it.
Yeah.
She has
Yeah.
scratches all over her and cuts because of this stupid fucking salt.
Dum da dum dum
Yeah,
dum.
you did have a little moment, but that's okay.
I did. A senior moment. That's why you call me Fossil.
And I'm Spawn. All right, guys, I think that's it for this one. We had a little spooky time today.
If you made it this far, again, I can't say it enough. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, for real, you guys are the best.
You guys are amazing, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.